Attention A1 Trading Show fans. If you're looking to get funded, we've got a solution for you. Our partnered prop firm FX2 Funding helps traders get access to up to $200,000 in trading capital. FX2 Funding is not your average prop firm. We've chosen them as our partner because of their fair examination rules, their professional and available customer service, and they have an outstanding reputation in the prop firm space. Here's a quick look at their evaluation process. First, they don't have a time limit on their evaluations. That means that you can take your time when passing your evaluation. There's no pressure to rush your trading. Second, there is only one phase to pass in their evaluation before getting access to your funded account. Also, their evaluation fees are fairly priced and fully refundable upon passing. Once you're funded, you'll be able to keep up to 85% of your trading profits. Finally, a rule we know swing traders will love: you can hold your positions over the weekend. For a limited time, get 15% off any of their account challenges with promo code A1Trading15. That's 15% off any account challenge with code A1Trading15. If you're ready to get funded, we're dropping a link in the chat right now, and you can also find it in the description down below. So go ahead and get signed up today for 15% off with promo code A1Trading15. Now, back to the show.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another live stream, and good morning, good afternoon to you if you are tuning in from all over the world. I know some people are, of course, it is evening time, middle of the day, just depends. Good to see everybody. Thank you for being back. Starting out here, VIX, good for 1384 today. This is the volatility index. I like to call it the fear gauge. Fear gauge is down, and if you guys don't use the VIX, add it to your watch list. In fact, I don't even know if it's added to my watch list. It really should be, so I'm gonna do that right now. The VIX, I've been pulling this up on the streams pretty often recently. Even if you don't trade the VIX, some people do trade options and that sort of thing. It's a heavy piece of information, just understanding volatility index. What you'll notice, guys, is this is a daily chart. When the VIX shoots up, usually markets are very volatile and very fearful. Usually during these times, the dollar's making moves up, stock markets are selling off. Yeah, it could be interesting. So keep the VIX on your charts. That's my tip for your Friday here as we get into market setups and ideas for, I guess, the week ahead. Not really the weekend, right? Because markets are closed on the weekend. But thank you guys for joining us. I do want to say, quick, as we get started here, hit that thumbs up button if you guys don't mind. It does help to support the stream, and we do appreciate it. George says, good morning from Tampa. What's up, George? Hey, guys, let us know where you tuning in from in the chat so I can give a shout out to some of you guys here. When did you short gold? I did not short gold. I actually am long gold right now, and here's my setup on it. Let's get this straightened out. Okay, so here's my gold setup, guys. I'm currently long gold as we speak. Picked up gold this morning. Also, we got some people in the chat saying where they're from. We got Bulgaria, UK, Nepal, Malaysia, Tampa, South Africa, Hong Kong, Nigeria, Australia. Shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for being here. I know we've never met personally, but I don't know. A lot of you guys, I do recognize your consistent comments and support, and I do very much appreciate it. And although I may or may not know you personally, I know a lot of you guys watch these shows pretty consistently, and we do genuinely appreciate your support. So I'm looking at gold, and I'm long, guys. I am long gold. It did come down to my area of interest. I'm throwing myself out there, but I did pick up a long position on gold. And let's take a look. Ivan says, did you see USD/JPY? No, Ivan, I did not see USD/JPY. But your all caps here, Ivan, is making me wonder if I should take a look at it. I will actually. You're supposed to be long dollar yen. Why am I supposed to be long dollar yen, Ivan? Ivan's saying I'm supposed to be long dollar yen. Are you telling me, Ivan, like the trades are you giving me a signal? I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it if you could give me some signals. Maybe it'd make my job a little easier if I could just copy you. I'm kidding. I did pick up gold on the long side here. So this is my current position on GLD. So it's an ETF on the stock market that basically tracks the price of gold. So I'm long gold here this morning. Now, I have to be transparent. I actually took a loss on gold overnight. My first attempt to buy, as I mentioned, I mean, game plan was laid out yesterday on stream, and everything did come into play, even though my first trade was a loss. I picked up gold at the 38.2% retracement. I figured this level could hold. I was wrong. I took a stop loss this morning, overnight while I was sleeping. I took a small loss. Now, I've gotten a comment many times on my channel and on my comment section, guys. I've had a lot of people who they'll say, Nick, I hate going to sleep with a trade on. It makes me nervous. Let me just say, if anybody has ever felt that, I know I have, there's a secret to how that works. If you struggle to hold trades overnight, obviously you're not going to be able to be a swing trader if you can't hold trades overnight. If you're trying to be a swing trader, but you hate holding trades overnight, here's what I would say. Your position size is too dang big. If you can't sleep because of your position, it means your position size is too big and it means too much to you. So I'm holding a trade overnight gold and I got stopped out. Big deal. Who cares? It's a small loss and I move on. And actually, I think I might have caught a little bit better of an entry this morning. Now, in hindsight, I should have not taken the first trade and only taken the second trade, right? But again, I liked the first trade. I stand by it, even though it was a losing trade. A losing trade, a losing trade does not mean that it was a bad trade. This is, again, I've been doing this for a number of years. This tip will save you a lot of headache. A losing trade does not mean it was a bad trade. A bad trade is a trade where you break your rules and you're just firing from the hips and you don't know what you're doing and you don't have a plan. That's a bad trade. A losing trade is not necessarily a bad trade. Can a losing trade be a bad trade? Sure. If you didn't stick to your rules and you took a loss, that certainly could be considered a bad trade. But taking a loss does not make it a bad trade. Okay. There's your Friday tip as we enter into the last day of this week's trading session. Like I said, I am long gold, and I would like for you guys to let me know. Did we have someone join the stream for a second? Did I miss that? Sorry, I wasn't looking at the software. If you guys are trading something, let me know in the chat right now, and I'll try and pull up some charts for you. We, of course, have to do dollar yen, as Ivan did request it. USD/JPY went up 200 pips this morning, made a break and retest, and then boom. Very nice movement here this morning, guys. Dollar yen. Interesting. I think the 2-year, what happened with the 2-year? A little bit of upside here. What about the 1-year? Gosh, that's a terribly ugly chart. 10-year. Okay, why am I pulling this up? Well, guys, when you're pulling up yen pairs, it's kind of key to keep an eye on the yields in the United States. They have a big impact on it. They move generally in the same direction. The 2-year moves the same direction usually as dollar yen, okay? And of course, that is the bond market. If you guys don't know the bond market, guys, is for real traders only, okay? If you're a fundamentalist, you only look at the bond market. I feel like I don't know anybody. Everybody and their brother and their mother and their sister trades forex. They trade, binary options. They trade options. They trade leverage. They trade, that's what all traders who are new to this stuff do. I don't know one stinking person who trades the bond market as a beginner or as a new trader. Why? It's a boring market, but boring doesn't mean bad. In fact, real traders trade the bond market. A lot of them do. Okay. Ivan is trying a hostile takeover. Vetoed. Ivan, dollar yen. I made a move up. Nice. JPY move today is because of comments from lack of tweak to YCC yield control curve. Okay. Thank you, Ivan, for that. Yeah. So JPY specifically, Good points there, Ivan. Thank you for sharing. Big move to the downside for the Japanese yen, guys. This is a huge move. If you're watching yen pairs, we've got to let's move a little faster here and take a look at some pairs. Ivan, you mentioned CAD JPY in the chat here. So CAD yen making a move up, pound yen making a move up. And this, guys, actually reconfirms just straight bullishness on yen pairs. Again, as Ivan just pointed out in the chat here for us, monetary policy from Bank of Japan, if there's not solid, plans to back up the currency, the yen has been very weak. If their plans to do so are not, not even convincing the market at all, that probably gives more weakness to the yen and upside to counters to the yen, right? Euro yen, right? That's a counter to the yen, right? Euro goes up if the yen goes down, kind of thing. So on and so forth. So right now, euro yen looks really good. Wow. Very, very, very good moves here occurring on the yen pairs. And I actually really like this. So again, I've got gold long already. I mentioned that as a trade I'm at, but I really also like this concept here. Pullbacks perhaps to the 50% retracement. This is a 4-hour chart, so you can probably even see this on the 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour looks real clean. We could tighten this up a little bit on the 1 hour chart. That 50% level looks really good, Ivan. I would say I'm looking at this with starry eyes. Ivan says the point is, after I told you yesterday, the market made a break higher and came back to support, so you could have traded it. You're right, Ivan. To be honest, though, Ivan, I've been really focused. I mentioned this to you yesterday and to everyone on the stream. We've been focusing really heavily on the indices recently. I've been trading a lot of indices and a lot of gold. And I do, however, want to keep an eye on the yen pairs as well. So I'm very interested, and I'm willing to look for this pullback. I don't necessarily like dollar yen as much as euro yen, if I'm being honest, but let's see what the EDGEFINDER has to say for us. Euro yen still on that buy category. Okay. Trend reading still good. Seasonal trends still good for euro yen. GDP favors Japan over Europe. Inflation -2. Hold up. That seems like it's an error. Wait a second. Hold on. We got to check our data here. We're going to pull up the euro yen specific calculation chart. We are going to be redoing this chart, by the way. Frank and I are we spent like 2 hours yesterday just discussing this chart. For those of you guys who have the EDGEFINDER, keep an eye on this, these pages. Nothing's wrong with them, but we want to make them much easier and quicker to read. It's a lot of data in one spot and it's kind of scattered. So we want to redo this page. And I'm excited to do that because I think it will really take the individual sheets. I've shied away from them because some of the other pages are so much simpler and easier to use. I still like these pages, don't get me wrong. EDGEFINDER users in the chat, guys, do me a favor. What do you think? Do you agree? Do these pages need a revamp? I just think that they're a little cluttered. It's just so much information overload at one point. Anyways, this is an error, guys. This should not be -2. This is a -2 where it absolutely should not be. And I am going to screenshot this right now. And I'm going to double check with the developer to wonder what is going on with this -2 reading. So bear with me as I shoot over a direct message to one of our devs. As someone who doesn't even have the EDGEFINDER, I see this is an absolute win. Thanks, Andy Boy. Wait, what do you mean by that, Andy Boy? I don't understand what you mean. If you guys do have the EDGEFINDER, again, I think we are going to be redoing some of these pages. And I'm not, like I said, this inflation score, why is this wrong? Well, sorry, I'm trying to write a note to the developer while giving a speech on YouTube. Give me 1 second. Do you know why this is printing a -2? Seems like it should be a +2. Okay. All right. So why should this be a +2? Well, okay, inflation is hotter in Europe. That means the monetary policy there is going to have to react accordingly. That's positive for the currency, right? If they rate hike in Europe, that's positive for euro, right? So that should give us a +1. And if inflation ticks down, if it's coming down, that should play another role. But again, I think that we are still in the development of this inflation component right now. We're revamping the inflation component. So there may be some errors in the meantime. So bear with us on that. But again, this should actually be a +5. I'm going to tell you that right now. So EDGEFINDER should be giving Euro Yen a +5. There's several reasons for why. But overall, again, I am looking for bullish setups on Euro Yen pullbacks. This actually looks really good around the 50% retracement. Let's take a look at smart money, see what's going on with COT data. We do get COT data tonight, guys. For those of you guys who track the commitment of traders data, shows us what pros are buying and selling, hedge funds and that sort of thing. Euro still very hot, yen very short. So when we compare this currency pair, we see, the euro is very bought by institutional traders and the yen is very shorted by institutional traders. So when we compare those two things, okay, I'd rather be buying the euro and selling the yen. Okay. Andy boy, you might be right. Thank you for the math. Andy boy, how do you know so much about the EDGEFINDER? You don't even have it. Andy, I appreciate your regular contributions to the stream. I do genuinely appreciate it. And even if you don't have the EDGEFINDER, I know a lot of viewers just are familiar with it by spending so much time watching the videos and streams. 2 times loss buying gold. I had 1 loss on gold overnight. I mentioned this earlier. If you're just tuning in, I picked up gold a first time around 1972. Well, actually, no, I bought it at right around 1969, and then price fell through the floor. That was my trigger to go ahead and get out. So I took a loss, but then I decided to re-enter this morning as it hit the 618. Okay, so if I look at this on a 4-hour chart, this is my setup. I'm currently in this trade. I'll show you my position. So this is my current position, and it's 9:46. I'm going to actually go ahead and put a stop loss on this trade because I was supposed to. Don't do what I just did, and I've not made this mistake in a while, but I'm going to add a stop to my trade. So I have 600 shares. So I need to add a stop loss on this trade. So we're going to sell stop at, I'd like to put my stop loss at 181.44. Okay, stop loss should be there. And sell. So this is a stop 181.44. We're going to sell it there. Okay, there we go. I had a stop loss on that trade. That's my bad, guys. Don't make that mistake, especially in front of YouTube. You will get destroyed. But anyways, I do have this trade on. If I get stopped out a second time on gold, guys, if I do end up getting hit on this, that's going to go ahead and mark the last attempt for me for now. Okay. So I took a trade up in these regions, didn't work out. I took a second attempt here this morning. And if it does not work out, I'm probably done. So I'm floating minus 200 at this time. If this market does start to rally, that'll be awesome. We'll see if we can get some more upside. And let's go back to that COT report data, see if there's any updates on this. So again, COT, I made mention to some of the stronger. So gold is still part of the reason I like gold is gold still has a very heavy, long presence from hedge funds and asset managers and institutions. They seem to be very long. Shubham says, I'm sorry if I said your name incorrectly. Shubham. Nice. One question, Nick, one question, Swiss yen. Both are on the short side in COT and the inflation is higher in Japan, but the pair is all-time high. Is it because the Swiss National Bank has been buying Swiss franc, or is it due for a correction? I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't actually watched a lot of Swiss pair stuff recently. And in terms of COT data, you made mention to where institutions are buying and selling. Swiss is right here. Yen is right here. So they're pretty short heavy on both of these things. And if I'm being honest, the reason I don't really like this pair is because these are two super risk off currencies, right? Generally speaking, the Swiss franc is a safe haven currency, and so is the Japanese yen. I personally like to trade divergences where one is a risk on currency like GBP or AUD or NZD versus a risk off currency like Swiss franc or Japanese yen. There's nothing wrong with trading this pair if you have a reason to do so. And I don't know all the logistics about what's going on with the Swiss National Bank personally. So I don't want to comment on something fundamentally that I don't know anything about. So not going to make something up for you. It's just a pair that I don't pay attention to. You can only focus on so many things. I don't pay a lot of attention to oil as well. It's not something I specialize in. There's OPEC supply to keep in mind. There's just too many things on the fundamental side to trade a million different assets. Same reason why I don't really trade individual stocks that much. My top priority is focusing on NASDAQ, gold, yen pairs, dollar pairs. That's about where I'm at, right? I trade the S&P as well. And then, yeah. So anyways, is the euro safe haven or a risk on currency? Andy boy, it kind of flips. It could be both, weirdly enough. So just kind of depends what's going on. Guys, I do want to say, if you guys do not have access to the EDGEFINDER, here's two things for you to consider. If you would like to if you'd like to try out the software that you're watching on the screen right now, get access to our commitment of traders data, our retail sentiment, seasonal trends, the central bank forecast sheet, the bank signals tab, the price forecast, risk on, risk off gauge. We have GDP, inflation, unemployment, interest rates, all of this stuff in one piece of software so that you don't have to browse around and read 100 articles a day. If you're trying to be a fundamentalist, if you're trying to incorporate fundamentals into your trading to build more of a bias and get better data-backed trading setups, then I would like you to consider a couple things. First of all, we are doing, if you're a regular viewer on the show, our sale is absolutely ending today. Today, we are doing the last day to get 50% off on the EDGEFINDER. That is the biggest sale we have done yet, and that sale is ending today. So if you've been watching the streams for a while, this is your chance. And again, this offer is going away. If you would like to work something out with us, if you'd like to discuss options and payment plans or whatever you want to do, message us right now, because if you miss this window, the price is doubling after this sale ends. It's going back to its usual price. So again, 50% off. If you'd like more information, please message us right now. Click this link. It will take you to a direct message center where you can ask one of our representatives about the sale before it ends. And then the price is going back and you will not be able to get access to it for this price again. So there you go. Take advantage. And also, for those of you guys who are just tuning in, maybe you're not so regular to the show and you're interested about it, but you'd like to perhaps set up a call with us or check out the EDGEFINDER or grab access to our free course material around the EDGEFINDER. The second link I'm going to have dropped here in the chat for you guys is the free trial, free tour stuff that we have. So click this link if you're interested in the software, but you'd like to check out more about it first, and you're not so familiar with it. We're going to drop that link right here. So click this, try out the EDGEFINDER, get some more information about it right here. And hey, look, my shirt is actually matching beautifully with the A1 Trading YouTube logo. So there you go. Cool. Now, guys, we're going to, again, I am still looking at gold. I'm long. I mentioned this morning. If you just tuned into the stream, picked up gold at this level. I'm also watching EURJPY. These are two trades that are on my watch list here today. This doesn't mean I'm telling you to trade them by any means. If this euro yen trade pulls back, I personally will be looking to possibly pick it up on the long side. I like the COT data backed setups here. I also, you know, when it comes to euro yen, there's a couple things that I really like about it. Euro yen on our buy watch list. COT retail is still very short. We could take a look at retail for a second, and in just a minute we are going to be having Kenzo joining the stream here to go over some charts here with us as well. We'll see what he's interested in, so you guys get a little bit more mix of different currency pairs and assets. Euro yen here, guys. Retail is very short. They're really betting against the euro yen. And that's part of the reason why I'm actually more interested on the long side. If retail is very heavily crowding a trade, I like to be on the other side, as retail traders tend to lose money. And so if they're all piled into a short on euro yen, I'm going to look for potential long side opportunities. So I am very interested in looking for a pullback. And if it does come down to this previous level of resistance, that's where I'm going to be really the most interested. So again, that is what's on my watch list personally today. We're going to now go to Kenzo and see what he's looking at in terms of setups. And we'll be joined with Kenzo in just a moment before that. Before we do, we're going to just thank our sponsors here. These shows would not be made possible without our sponsors. They are quite expensive to run. And so we're going to thank our sponsor. And also our sponsor is a great way to get access to our software totally free, 100% for free. If you sign up with this brokerage and you deposit, they're a regulated broker. So here's more information about that right here.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans. If you're interested in getting free access to the EDGEFINDER or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker 8cap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to 8cap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now, back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, guys, and we are back with Kenzo. Hey, Kenzo, how's it going, man?
Great, thanks, and you, man. I hope you're doing great.
I'm good, and it's good to have you back on the show. For those of you who do not know Kenzo, Kenzo comes on our show once a week to go over technical and fundamental setups. We have a range of guests who make an appearance on our show, but I always like having Kenzo because we get a good mix of that technical and fundamental stuff going on. Kenzo, hey, what are you looking at here in the markets today? Do you have any trades on or setups that you're watching for?
Yes. Actually, today I was looking at gold and NASDAQ and US30. So I'm expecting a nice, maybe a very nice sell on gold. It seems like it's breaking out of that area. I can call that actually a support area. So another thing is this sell actually that I'm expecting to hold this sell because if you still remember, next week we have FOMC. And there is a chance for them to increase the rates, maybe. And even though the CPI, actually core CPI, went a bit lower, but I know they will still say things went lower, but the inflation is still very high. So maybe I think we have maybe one chance to see that increase. And if that increase happens, it means maybe we might see another retest on this support before we push up again. So on NASDAQ, things were quite different because of Netflix and Tesla yesterday. So we saw actually a sell. So today I was expecting the market to actually push up. But if, especially today, we don't actually have any economic news, I think everyone is thinking about FOMC, what might happen. And if they increase the rates, it's not going to be much of a surprise, but I think the market might still sell before we see another push to the upside. You see, that's what I was actually checking this week. So it's a bit difficult actually to trade when we expect high impact news.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Kenzo. I mean, as you mentioned, I think one of the big things right now with the markets, when we get these lulls where there's like, okay, there's no news today, market does start to pay attention, as you mentioned, to kind of what's that next catalyst for us. And of course, as you mentioned, we do have a meeting next week, which will decide whether or not they decide to raise rates. There is pretty much a consensus right now, pretty hefty consensus that they will raise in the upcoming meeting. The bigger question, as kind of always is after that meeting, what is the next thing? Are they truly going to pause, or is there potential that they continue to rate hike again? And as you mentioned, we had CPI come out, core and headline, very, very good. As we discussed last week during this segment together, you know, CPI, it was a smash hit across the board. And the question will be, you know, is that going to be enough to really, truly nail in the coffin for not this upcoming meeting, but perhaps the next one, really rule out the idea of any more rate hikes? That will be very interesting to say. And Kenzo, I thought that was interesting that you pulled up gold. I actually am long gold, but I want to ask you, are you in your gold short, or are you looking to short gold if it breaks the current support level?
Yes, I'm actually waiting for it to break. If it breaks, then I will just jump on that sell. But on a long time, I'm actually on a bullish momentum. So I'm actually on a bullish. If it breaks now, I will just take that quick sell. But the trend still shows us. I think this might be this wave of FOMC before maybe we see another push. If it doesn't really break, I'm still actually bullish. because we are actually on a very nice uptrend.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point, and I think your potential sell there, Kenzo, is actually very interesting because despite me being long in this current area, pretty near where you would enter a sell would probably be where I would also agree to go ahead and stop out of my trade. So it's interesting that we kind of have that chart lined up together. What's cool, Kenzo, is we've been doing this for a while together, and we oftentimes have similar chart markups and similar analysis. It's always cool to see that, even though we're very far physically apart, we have the same kind of trade setups and concepts that we're paying attention to. So always cool to see that. So you mentioned gold, you mentioned NASDAQ. What about on the currency side? Do you have any thoughts on what's been going on with the dollar, or I know the Japanese yen is kind of a hot topic here today. What are you looking at, any currency pairs right now?
I did check actually Euro USD and USD CHF. Yesterday, actually, we did actually make some very nice profit. If you still remember, dollar last week, it was pushing like aggressively lower, but now it's starting to push to the upside. And I think this is the start of that movement of FOMC. Since we now expect them to increase and the news are very closer, I think the market will try to cover this gap. You can see the gap of this sell was crazy on on USD CHF. On Euro USD, if you did check also, the market was crazy pushing to the upside. And we had a nice breakout yesterday. We also took a very short sell, but I still believe that the market can still cover this space, especially because of actually interest rates. Maybe actually Monday, Tuesday, we might reach that we might cover this gap. If they increase, I don't think we're gonna have is actually a serious move. I think the increase will be touching maybe our supports bouncing back. I don't think we wanna see a long week of a sell. So because after that, obviously, as you said, after the increase is what's next. If maybe they say, okay, I think the increase is fine, the CPI went a bit lower, maybe this will be the last increase, whatever, that is going to be actually positive. And it's actually what we want, you see. So yeah, we can't just go full on sell just because they might increase the rate. What's important is what happened next. And that can be tricky, you see.
Yeah, no, and I think that that's where perhaps the market is kind of looking for its next, decisive trend, is waiting on that meeting and perhaps any statements that could allude to, as you mentioned, what happens next, or forward looking is another way of saying that, right? Like the market is constantly looking forward. It's looking ahead of time to see what is coming. Like I said, there is sort of a pretty strong consensus that they'll probably rate hike one more, but the question is from there, what does it look like? Speaking of that concept when it comes to rates, if we truly are nearing the end of the rate hikes and we start into a pause period, that hope is what has been driving the price of gold higher, as well as the NASDAQ, the S&P 500. And we've actually seen recently, Kenzo, the UK 100 or the FTSE has actually joined the party too, with CPI coming down quite a bit in the UK. Do you have any thoughts on pound pairs? Yes. I know pound kind of gave back some of its gains. Any ideas on pound pairs right now?
Not really much. I did not really take any trade on GBP, but I was also checking what's really happening. I saw that it was going down, but I was actually focusing on the dollar because the interest rate is very closer. But I know if they pause the rates, GBP is still going to follow the same thing, because if you still remember, on Wednesday, next week Wednesday, it's US interest rates. Then on Thursday is gonna be European interest rates, if I still remember. So which means they are very close to each other. So if you check them both, actually you might end up getting the market will just consolidate. So I think the power just went off on my side. But anyways, I think actually it's better to check on US because everyone is actually going to follow what the US is going to do. I also saw other countries, they're starting to pause the rates, you see. So I think it's just trying to follow actually US. Or actually in general, inflation is slowly going down, which means CPI is actually going down.
Yep. Very, very good points there all around. Kenzo, thank you for that. I do want to thank you, Kenzo, for coming on to the stream here. Kenzo joins us, as I mentioned earlier. He comes on once a week. Each Friday, we go over kind of what's been going on, as well as looking ahead, both fundamentally and technically. Kenzo, I appreciate you coming on. And before you go, I do want to just let everybody know, if you guys enjoyed Kenzo's commentary, he has his own YouTube channel, which I highly recommend you guys go subscribe to for daily content and analysis and that sort of thing. Click right here to go subscribe to Extra Hot Forex. Kenzo, thank you for coming on, and we will see you back next week, man.
Thank you very much, man.
All right, we'll see you. And yeah, always good to have Kenzo on, guys. We always get into good conversations with Kenzo. I genuinely really appreciate his fundamental outlook. You know, there's a couple guys who come on the streams that are very fundamental in their commentary. Kenzo's one of them, and I really appreciate that because, of course, I like to have the technical traders as well as the fundamental traders. But you guys know I'm pretty heavily on the fundamental side, keeping up to it. I think that's where a lot of the big trends form, and understanding them can be very powerful in your trading. And of course, we also like to have both technicals and fundamentals. Guys, I'm still long this gold trade. It's not going too hot. And if I stop out today, it's going to be a wash for me on gold. I'm just going to call it quits for now. You know, this uptrend, I would like to see it continue. And if it does continue, then that'll be great. I'll try and ride this uptrend. I do think that, though, if this does not hold for us here, that's probably going to be the end of my attempt on the long side. So this is kind of where I'm at with it, right? So we got this nice upward trend. Just apply that. So got a nice upward trend, a market structure level of support here. Like I said, I've taken a loss on this one already this morning. I tried to pick it up at the upper range here. Initial reaction, but did fall apart and triggered my stop loss. I decided to re-enter this morning. And if I do make any moves in this one, you guys will see it inside of the Discord channel. If you're not inside of our Discord channel, I will say you can join the free version by clicking the link that's being dropped in the chat right now. We do have a free Discord where you can get daily analysis, market setups, things like that shared to you. If you would like to join us, click this link right here. It's just been dropped by our producer to check it out for yourself. Just fill out this form. This helps us to keep out the spammers and the scammers kind of thing. So just click that link, fill out the form, and you'll be invited into our Discord channel. And if you do decide to go for the premium version, you'll be able to also see the trades that are being taken by myself and my partner, Frank, who is our other trader inside of the group. If you guys watch the streams, you know Frank. If you're a regular fan of the show, you know Frank pretty well. With that said, guys, last thing I will say before we end the stream here for the week, this is the last stream, of course, of the week, but it's also the last day to get access to our 50% off EDGEFINDER sale. This will be ending, and then the price will be going back up to its usual price. If you'd like information about the 50% off, or you'd like to just inquire about it, ask a few questions, please do so. This is your last chance to do so. And we are dropping a link in the chat right now to message someone on our team. It's not a robot. It's not a landing page. You're going to send to a real person on our team. If you do have questions about the 50% off sale, click this link. It's in the chat right now. And if you're watching back at a later time, just click the link in the description and you can direct message us. Thank you guys for tuning in to another wonderful week in the markets on the show. We appreciate you guys and your regular viewership. And we will see you guys back next week for more content. See you guys. Today is the last day. You have 1 day left before the EDGEFINDER is going back to its standard price and is no longer 50% off. The EDGEFINDER is a trading software tool that traders around the world are using to find better trade setups right now, using things like the Smart Money Tracker, which reflects the COT reports, retail sentiment. It also tracks seasonal trends for traders who are looking to take advantage of seasonality, and it creates a watch list each and every day for traders that use this from all over the world. People in North America, in parts of Africa and Asia and Europe are all using the EDGEFINDER to build better data-backed trading setups. If you've been watching the channel for a while and you're familiar with our software, then I want to let you know that our half-off sale is ending soon and I don't want you to miss out. If you would like to get more information about the software, make sure to message us right now using the link that is down below. You'll be connected directly to someone on our team to ask them about the half-off sale. But wait, it gets better. If you direct message us, it's 55% off. You get an extra 5% off just by messaging someone on our team who can connect you to the tool, get you set up, and if you'd like, you can set up a call to go over the software if that would be helpful to you. We want to make sure this software is a right fit for you. We're not just trying to sell this to anybody, and we'd like to connect and get to know you before we sell you the software. So again, click that link and let us know that you're interested in the half-off sale before it ends. And remember, 55% is available if you do direct message us now.